Hey everyone, welcome to the Stanford Lee Show, the place for songs, stories, musicology, and more. This week, Bad Boys on Guitar. Let's get started.
I got the girls to sing in my country thing. People ask me why I've got so many guitars. Life is simple, just north of the city. Through an old screen door, you can see forever. We got music here, don't feel like leaving. If you've got a strong back, you'll still make a living. City lights, career and fame. What does it have to do with anything? 'Cause it's just 6 strings. Sounds like magic. It's just 6 strings. If you have a bar, it's just 6 strings. Turn up the amplifiers. It's just 6 strings to take you anywhere. Anywhere. Sometimes I leave the country and I put away the whiskey and I go downtown to drink gin with the boys. From Nashville to Memphis and around the world, even here in Georgia, sounds you've never heard. City lights, career and fame. What does it have to do with anything? 'Cause it's just 6 strings. Sounds like magic. It's just 6 strings. If you have the bar, it's just 6 strings. Turn up the amplifiers. It's just 6 strings to take you anywhere. Anywhere. If country and rock were lying in a grave, I'd pick up an instrument, have something to say, because it's your music. It's your music. City lights, career and fame. What does it have to do with anything? 'Cause it's just 6 strings. Sounds like magic. It's just 6 strings. If you have the bar, it's just 6 strings. Turn up the amplifiers. It's just 6 strings to take you anywhere. Anywhere.
I'd like to introduce special guest Eric Aguiar on drums, and he's going to share with us his experience in music and percussion. So I was looking at my inspiration for writing the song 6 Strings, and it goes way back. It goes to high school and college, why I got started in music, which wasn't really, so I could read sheet music or, be in the school band. It was more, like other kids around me. I mean, you really kind of had, back in the day, 2 choices growing up. You could go with the guitar crowd or the Nintendo crowd. I don't know, there's kind of a give and take, but it seemed like you're either going to spend a lot of extra time playing games or, I thought music was useful. You could at least be cool, put a band together, maybe attract some women or something.
Yeah, find a way to fit in.
Yeah. So, there was a way to fit in and have some identity, and I think things changed a lot when I got out of high school and college, but I was catching the last of it when I was there. I wonder if a song like Smoking in the Boys' Room would even be relevant, because people would just go outside and smoke freely, like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a bad boy culture when I was, getting my education. Like you'd literally just see dudes leaning against walls, smoking cigarettes and hanging out between classes. So we didn't have to be like Motley Crue or Brownsville Station, like going to the boys' room to smoke. So I guess it goes deeper than that. It goes into finding an instrument you can identify with. And I think sometimes the motive for music changes. I mean, I wouldn't be able to probably be in it now if I didn't grow with it. But that initial passion of finding something that I connected with was important.
Yeah.
How about you? How did you connect or get started?
Yeah, I totally agree with the fitting in aspect. As the youngest of 4 siblings, I really look up to my older brother. He's still my older brother, and he's still a cool guy. But he was in his 20s, and I was in my teens, and it's of course not cool for older brother to hang out with little brother. And he had a rock and roll band that I wanted to go and see him play in his room. That's where he practiced. But he had rules against that, as most big bros do, so I wasn't able to do that. But he gave me a Rush album. And to my recollection, he said, if you learn these songs, I'll let you in the room. In retrospect, maybe a cruel joke, like almost like saying, if you learn Jimi Hendrix, you can come in the room. But as fate would have it, in a short amount of time, I learned the album, went in the room, and he was drummer. I became drummer, and he moved over to lead guitar and singer. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, for me, it was a way to get close to my brother, to fit in, and that's how I kind of got started on the path.
So you had an amazing challenge early on. I mean, if I'm understanding correctly, Rush is a little more difficult to learn than your kind of 3-chord rock and roll song.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking, I know it's Bad Boys on guitar, but Bad Boys on drums, there are several, but Neil Peart, rest in peace, he was a unique musician, one of few that used all the drums in every song, and he, basically used it to accentuate the different movements going on in each song. So it was very cool. He was, I guess, one of the few drummers who is a musician, so to speak, because most for some reason aren't, as the joke goes.
Oh, I know. And I think they were bad boys. They were just smart bad boys.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? They were a trio.
They were a trio, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't know, we were performing 6 strings, and like 2 weeks ago, it was like miserable. Like it, I don't know, it was just like us trying to clear earwax out or something. And
yeah.
but it got better. I mean, it's I like how Rush supplements their trio with different pieces of equipment. Like I think during the 70s, we don't have to get too far into it, but it was pretty cool. Like Geddy Lee would have like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So the first guitar you picked up must be pretty meaningful to you. Do you happen to have that?
Oh, I do, yeah. Yeah, if you want to grab that.
Which one is it?
It's the one your hand's on there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, but
It's a classic.
But as I was saying, we had to add more equipment as we were playing the song 6 strings. Because it's like 2 guys for us trying to fill it out.
Yes, sir.
And that's kind of the challenge when you're a compact band.
Mm-hmm. So what made that stand out?
So this, well, okay, so you can look at the shape of it. I mean, some guy told me stories that they had a lawsuit with Leo Fender because of similarities,
okay.
I guess with the Stratocaster. I think it's one of those stories that just comes along with a guitar.
Oh, yeah, it makes it more legendary.
Yeah, it's a sales story. But that's why I did purchase it, because it did resemble that, and it was affordable. Like if I was to get a Les Paul, it would have, back in the day, probably cost a fortune for me. Okay. Even a copy. So this was, I guess, under $200 at the time, and I like it a lot. It's got a whammy bar on it.
Oh, man,
and I popped some EMG pickups in because the pickups got old and demagnetized, and yeah, it can play a tune pretty well, but it's a practice guitar now. So when I need something to throw in the trunk and keep with me if I'm traveling, this is what goes with me. Kappa 6-string.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you know, us bad boys are resourceful. It's like you had the challenge of having to better yourself, being faced with really quite a daunting task, taking on a top, you know, musical genius like Neil Peart.
Which of course I didn't really appreciate at that young age. I mean, you don't quite understand and grasp how good someone really is. I was just so focused on the goal of being able to get in the room that I kind of just, you know, made myself learn it. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think you had, you know, just a real motivation to learn, and I probably kind of tiptoed into music. I learned a bunch of chords like the first year. I think it was totally useless, most of it. I mean, I probably use some of it now, but yeah, it was crazy.
And who are the bad boys you look up to, guitar-wise?
You know, the ones that stick with me are like here in the U.S. is Kiss. The first way that I heard Kiss was some guy in the playground was like, "Man, you got to hear this new album. It is so awesome." And I didn't have like access to the radio. I kind of snuck a radio under my pillow when I was younger, and eventually got to hear some of that cool stuff. But I think Kiss was already on their way out, but I heard it through a telephone first. A guy's like, "You got to hear this," and you know, he puts the telephone
like Back to the Future to
the record
scene.
player. Yeah, totally like that. You know, it's like, "I want to rock and roll," you know.
And here we are.
It was awesome. You know, they had the look, the energy, and great guitar players like Paul Stanley and of course Ace Frehley and Spaceman. Actually, Hank Williams Jr. to a certain extent, because I think that there's something kind of brawling and redneck about some of his songs that I really like. Like he was the guy that could kind of make you know, country awesome for the rock guys back in the day. And I did like Across the Pond. Bands like Slade. I mean, I think they were precursors of Kiss, actually.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a big influence on music history and rock. I did like, you know, of course, like Motley Crue, and I guess it even goes back to Brownsville Station, cool bands like that. You know, just the energy. I didn't know anything about it when I started. I got a guitar, learned a few chords. I think I paid, you know, maybe $75 for this plastic distortion pedal. And that was when I finally got the guitar to sound angry. Like I had to wait a couple years to get the real rock and roll sound, because I'm not sure how I got it, but I think it was one of these old amps that they had from Sears and Roebuck's. Like, it was, somebody had obviously ordered this from a catalog back in the day, and it had a tremolo and a volume pedal. It didn't have any gain on it, so you couldn't go chaka chaka, you know, you couldn't get any you know, crunch out of it. It was just like this clean, kind of trippy sounding amp, and it was constructed out of fiberboard. So humble beginnings. I mean, you seem like you play well on really fine equipment, but I've seen you play on like kits that you just kind of collect from different places, or different pieces of kits that you've had. How does that work for you?
It's pretty cool. So I was raised in South America, and in South America there's a lot of different kinds of drums and percussion. You know, so I've been able to play on stuff like the cajon, I think it is. In Spanish it's called the caja or cajon.
A box,
Play the bongos, congos, the djembe, I think it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an expert at all of them, but I do enjoy, you know, it's very good therapy, so.
Yeah, I mean, so you mix it up. You're able to like just put something together and get a sound out of it, I think. And you know, like for instance, Neil Peart, which we are probably going to have to do a Rush episode eventually. I know I'll freak out all you country people out there.
No Rush. No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like, mind's going to be blown. But yeah, incredible. And yeah, I mean, I got into some, you know, some interesting times with music. We'd get like the police called out occasionally when we'd rehearse, which is kind of ironic.
Yes.
For many reasons, but
I guess they finally convinced me to join them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good choice. And yeah, I didn't get in too much trouble for it. I mean, it was, you know, I was in a time where I could actually at least make my money back for the equipment that I bought, and that was what was really good. Like, you know, like now you can either, I don't know, it's like feast or famine. You can get paid for crazy money for some, you know, like wedding gig or one of those fancy gigs, but you know, most of the time we're just like playing places, and they're sweeping floors as you know, we're like picking up the equipment and stuff. And I guess that's kind of the rough side of it. But you know, the good thing is we're not like crammed in a bus anymore, you know, having to tour, because that's the way a lot of it is. And that would be the expectation for us now if it wasn't for, you know, everybody kind of hunkering down, woodshedding, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Wait for things to clear off.
Yeah, that kind of segues into the question I was going to ask. You know, everyone wants to be a bad boy. It doesn't matter what instrument they play. And you have arrived on said status, but a lot of people don't realize how much work actually goes into being a bad boy. You know, the long bus rides and the hours of rehearsal, and, you know, getting police called on you, and all the hassles in life. You know, then you got to balance family, and you know, how did you pull it off?
I just didn't stop. I think I did pick somebody, a partner that likes it, likes the rock and roll, likes the excitement. So I did write a little song about that.
Awesome.
That's what we have for Bad Boys and Guitar. So we'll see you next time on the Stanford Lee Show.